Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Now, we're currently in the interim stages between two live debates, so I'm going to pass over to the live Google Plus Hangouts on Air and Discord panels so you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever the hell is in there while I set up for the next live show.
People, and then they're just, and all of a sudden you're seeing it like the coin disappear from the bottom. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that.
Sorry to interrupt quickly. I just want to say bye and thank you for the talk.
Thank you, Gummy.
Thanks, Gummy.
See you later, man.
Right, start the next live show in about 2 or 3 minutes. FYI.
So you reckon you got through to Gummy?
Of course not.
I was fighting a losing battle.
Are we still sticking with the same question for the next live stream?
No, I
mean, obviously he's got questions if he's here.
The problem is they don't usually come here to ask us questions. They usually come here to tell us things and declare things. They don't really come here to ask us questions.
Yeah, and then accuse us of, having statements when they're the ones bringing them in.
And more than that, they just tell us what we already know. Like, you're not bringing anything new. We haven't heard any of this. Like,
sorry, man, what was that?
Right hand just said this.
I was just saying
they're just telling
don't bring new arguments.
No, I mean,
is that they're saying what we already know.
Yeah.
Just like things falling down. How many times?
Right, because that's where we see mass attracting mass, right?
And then the experiment that they use, Cavendish, doesn't even drop anything. So you're going to tell me why something falls down, and you're going to use an experiment where you don't even drop something?
Well, yeah, but we all understand. Can you guys hear me? Is my mic messing up?
We could hear
you.
I
can hear you, man.
It's kind of choppy a little bit.
Oh, I mean, because the little. Okay, yeah, my mic is going in and out because I got some new headphones.
It's all good, man. We can hear you.
Yeah, you still, yeah.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Ranty Flat Earth, Physics Warrior, Paul, Mind Warped, Elijah, Chocolate Saying, Arwin, and we've also got a whole bunch of people in Discord, so I'll see if I can introduce some of them. We've also got Cockell, Dawn, Ebro, these are tiny little words, Human Sheeple, King Daddy, Ping something or other, Right the Hand, and Shrinks. Very good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Good to be here.
Good morning.
Good day, mate.
How are we all?
Very well. Didn't manage to get through all of housekeeping last time, so I'm hoping we can actually rattle our way through it this time. We'll see how we get on. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Nope.
Not that I can see.
Any signs of axial rotation?
No.
Nope. We need an axis first.
Don't feel it.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Haven't smelt it.
Presupposition.
Of what?
Tasted it?
It's in the balls. It's in the balls.
Yeah, there's evidence for all of those things. Everything in your list.
Please, Dawn, enlighten us.
Well,
That's
axial
deprivation.
rotation, the whole sky turns, and that suggests an axis through the middle of Earth.
Yes.
So that's evidence for that. Evidence
Oh,
of gravity
that's the
is
sky, right?
falling,
Axis through Middle
the
Earth.
equilibrium of
Hold on,
relative
hold on,
densities.
hold on,
evidence
Dawn,
of
one thing at a
gravity.
time. Stop.
Scientific
Stop,
What was the other
stop.
one? Curvature. Yeah, there's lots of evidence
Just
for
one
curvature.
thing at a
Sound
time.
lead,
One thing at a
sun
time.
setting.
Wow.
Oh,
All
God, he won't
obstruction.
shut up. Dawn, one thing at a time. You said that the star rotation suggests axial rotation. Please enlighten us how you believe that that is the case, and I'll tell you how you're wrong.
Well, you tell me. But,
You just want me to tell you outright?
yes.
You want me to just tell
So
you?
obviously, in the northern and southern hemisphere, the stars spin around 2 points.
Okay,
We call them celestial poles,
okay. Are you done?
right?
No,
So that
not right.
suggests there's an
No,
axis.
oh, jeez. Are you done?
Am I done?
Yeah. In other words, when I start explaining how that's incorrect, will you continue to talk?
No, I'll let you have it.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah. You use the word hemisphere. That would be you assuming that this example takes place on a sphere, Dawn. So it's not an example of axial rotation. It's a demonstration that you can beg the question and assume you're standing on a sphere. Demonstrated by the word hemisphere.
So what would you like me to call it instead of hemisphere?
Let's call it the sky. Now, believe it or
Right,
not,
so the
Dawn.
northern sky
yeah,
and the
Dawn.
southern
I
sky.
asked if you were going to interrupt, and you said no. So let's call it
Good
the
point.
sky.
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the word
Dawn,
hemisphere.
I'm going to have to shut you up and just put you on permanent mute if you cannot stop interrupting me. So I'll try again for a third time. Let's just call it the sky. For the people in Australia, the sky's above their head. And for me, the sky's above my head. Now, unless we presuppose that they are antipode to us, then we do not have an example that conforms to anything other than you're begging the question by using the word hemisphere. Assuming the spherical Earth already, Dawn.
I have to disagree. I think the
I
movement
don't
in
care.
the sky, north and south, suggests an axis.
Oh,
of
right.
rotation.
You just assumed that Australia is antipode to us. Yes, we know. You beg the question.
No,
it
I don't
doesn't prove
assume
anything.
it, dude.
Yeah.
What everyone says.
Dawn,
and that's
Dawn,
what all observations show. It's not an assumption.
Dawn, we don't want to know an endless diatribe about your fundamentalist belief in a begging the question fallacy. I don't want to hear it.
So yeah, the sky rotating is
Yeah,
evidence
that's
for
all right.
actual rotation.
I'll give you one last chance. Right? I do not, I'll say it slower. I don't want an endless diatribe of your fundy belief in a begging the question fallacy. That means, for laymen like yourself, don't repeat the same claim that I've ripped to pieces 4 more times.
I
It's
understand.
not.
This isn't a diatribe.
I'm
It's
saying
just
it
me telling you
slower
the evidence
so
is
that
there.
you can understand it, not interrupt easier. Yeah, I'm saying
Not
it
a
slower.
diatribe,
Not
it's just me
yeah. I just
telling you
said
the
I'm
evidence.
speaking
That's
slower.
That's all it is.
I'm speaking slower, not so that you have more opportunity to interrupt me, but so that I can explain it to a retard.
So you
It's
can
a-
feel clever. That's why you're
no,
speaking slower.
not feel clever.
You can get
Explain to a
dopamine-
retard
dopamine
who
by feeling
keeps
intellectual.
interrupting. This is your last chance, Dawn. Yeah, we heard your claim. I've explained to you that your claim involves presupposition based on the word hemisphere. You've said, I don't agree. Okay, well, that's tough luck. It's still a begging the question fallacy. It still has the presupposition of a spherical Earth. It does not prove axial rotation. Now, you don't have to like it. You don't have to. Right, that's it. You're not going to get to interrupt me constantly, you fucking asshole. Get out. Prick.
Discord is crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't get to constantly reaffirm the nonsense claim that we have axial rotation based on him assuming we've got...
Hello?
I think the panel may be a little overcrowded.
What happened?
Don't worry, he's lost his calm. He's still here.
Tired of getting interrupted.
Is my audio still coming in?
Loud and
I
clear?
can hear you, man.
Assuredly, can you mute
Seems
your
to
mic?
be a delay.
Because every time you click,
I've been muting it when I'm trying to type. There's a couple of times I forgot to. I'm not doing it now, so I've got it unmuted. Just waiting for Nathan to get back. I'm presuming he's away somewhere.
That sounds like the stream went down.
Nothing wrong. What are you talking about?
He's on. He's on.
Who said that?
Oh, sorry. I heard nothing but silence. I thought I wasn't getting any sound.
It's perfect. Yeah, everything's perfect.
Ah, cool.
So about that housekeeping.
Yeah, should we just move on?
Can I just suggest that we end when you're talking, like with either questioning someone directly or some word like over used in radio? Because a lot of the salt in here is just about people being interrupted, which is just wasting time, really.
But they interrupt while he's still talking. So saying over is not going to change that because he's still talking when they talk. So how is saying over going to stop somebody from interrupting while he's still saying his sentence?
A lot of the time they're interrupting when he's pausing to take a breath or pausing after a question, but still planning to keep talking. Like he asked a question and then continued to talk after for clarification. And the person responded instantly as soon as he finished asking the question.
Okay, here, let me ask you. Here's a real honest question. If you were having a conversation, hold on, let me ask you. Let's be honest. Hold on. Let's be honest. If we're having a conversation with a person, do you need them to say over, or do you just be civil?
Yeah, he just heard half of your question and decided to answer half.
Because he's saying we need to say over when we're done talking. No, we don't. Just sit and listen. And when it's your turn to speak, speak. You don't need him to say over. You'll know it's over because he would have rounded out his point and he'll stop speaking. That is so much more evidence that he's done talking than saying over. Because maybe he's saying over in the term of his sentence, and you'll hear that word over and be like, well, he's done speaking, let me chime up. So no, I don't think it's a good idea. I think you should just sit, listen, and when he's done speaking, use reasonable logic to conclude that he's done talking, and then you can speak. We're not going to be saying over like a bunch of military retards.
Again, that was just a suggestion. I did say you could maybe question them directly to signify that you're
He's
done.
definitely
10-4.
Sorry?
Breaker. Right. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
No.
Any evidence of Earth radius, the R value?
Might have to find that curvature first before we can do all that.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Aristotle's.
Doesn't exist.
Cool. Can you expand on that?
Parallax.
Hearing single words. Question on the table is any evidence of the distance to the sun? We've got...
No, that is a negative.
Now, people are talking while I clarify after the silence that ensued.
Sorry, I was away from the mic.
It's all right.
We're waiting for our opportunity to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was just a general statement.
My audio is coming in late, it seems.
So,
you probably just need to adjust your bandwidth, dude.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Negative.
Nope.
Somebody said they had evidence. Then it all went quiet.
Really? Who said that?
Aristophanes, someone said.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Is that on Discord?
Oh yeah, I said that.
Oh, fair enough. If it was sarcastic, then we'll move on. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container for all the fundies who believe in space?
No,
it's impossible.
Container comes first.
And I love seeing Globeheads try to make experiments to prove this. It's just stupid.
Excellent. That concludes the housekeeping. 2 shows it took.
I came in at the end of that last show. Had you still not gotten through housekeeping?
No, we got to gravity, and then the guy claimed that he had Cavendish as an experiment. Clearly, he doesn't watch the show. Clearly,
the power of the
That's
force.
so good.
One of the problems I feel is even
gravity.
if you wanna like cater to them, and they'll say, "Oh, look up at the sky. That's mass attracting mass." No, it's not. They would all crash together if it was mass attracting mass. It's actually mass being in harmonic balance with mass, which is not mass attracting mass.
I feel like there's
Would you
a
argue
difference
that an orbit doesn't require a center seeking force?
between them making their assertions and them being confused about why their assertions are wrong.
I'm loving this new thing now where gravity is supposedly causing the force now. Like, so this is the problem with their narrative now that's going haywire.
Yeah.
So now gravity is not the force, it causes the force. Right. Because this is like the 3rd time I've heard this nonsense.
Yeah, and
So
it's so supported by experimentation, because that's exactly what all their experiments don't do. So that's just perfect.
yeah.
exactly.
Anthony's challenge of George Musa has resulted in the cat truly being set amongst the pigeons in regards to gravity.
That's what I think. Moment of silence for the globe.
With the pre-show, were we live when I did that presentation? Nathan?
Yeah. Well, we were on the after show. I did say that.
Okay, cool.
We weren't
I
live,
just
but you
wanted to
welcome
make sure it went live so Google's algorithms can pick it up and do their wacky thing.
Well, no, it hasn't then in that case. So no, it hasn't gone to air yet, that particular part.
Okay.
But if you want to do it again, you're welcome to.
You sure?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right. Cool. All right. Give me 2 secs. I'll come back to it. I'll get it set up.
While you're getting that together, at 2 p.m. Central Time and 8 p.m. UK time, there'll be a Ballbusters special about the most technologically advanced flat Earth model that the world has ever seen.
Awesome.
So this is not to be underestimated. Share the information far and wide. Be here or be sphere. I mean, this model is basically amazing. It does everything.
Can I ask who made it, or are you not allowed to say? Or
Got a very, very big corporate sponsor.
Really?
Enormous.
That's pretty cool.
Very. Advanced flat Earth predictions. It can do that. Amazing.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hear it's amazing. It does the predictions, and accuracy is just beyond belief.
Yeah, it can make full-on
What,
pseudoscience predictions. It's amazing.
I have a few globe earthers coming in. Oh, it works great.
Really?
Son-in-law?
So you mean to say like
I'm not coming in late anymore.
this model predicts like all the moon phases, or like time, everything? It works out perfectly, does it?
It's not a celestial
is
model. It's
interesting.
purely an Earth model.
And
But
that's
it
because
still
we have-
like works well with everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That is
Hey,
cool.
I've got an app on my watch that keeps up the moon phase. It works perfect too. Wow.
Well, it doesn't have that.
That's
It's
the
purely an Earth model.
right?
Let's
Can't
not get
work
ahead of
perfectly.
ourselves. It's not an Earth. It's just
Then
Earth.
that brings the question of which one is legit, which is awesome.
Oh, well, it's got an extra. It's got a feature for that, so it has actually got the functionality so that you can compare very easily with like the stroke of a mouse, globe Earth versus flat Earth. So you can get the depictions of the what they claim it should appear like. You can get that like really easily. So it's amazing. The features in this piece of software are just incredible. It cannot be underestimated how good it is.
It's my birthday.
Are we going to be able to put this in the app, like on the phones and iPads?
Sorry?
And...
Say again,
This,
physics. John calling. Hey, John.
It'll
How's
be
it going,
available for
gentlemen?
download, right?
I think there's part of it's paid and there's a free section that you can have for nothing. No profits go to me.
I'll take it.
Purely the big corporate that gets the money if you download the professional version.
So I just got my screen up now.
Brilliant. Let's have a look.
Cool. All right. So, like I was saying before, there's a few weeks ago, it might have even been about a month ago, I did a presentation showing how Google had blatantly cut Rottnest out of the horizon, and then once I brought it up on the live stream a couple of days later on Google, it magically had been changed and you could see Rottnest. So I went back onto the same road and found another section where on Google Earth or Google Maps, I'll play it now. So bear in mind, this is keeping that house there's the landmark. Sorry, don't mind that,
so
dude.
Just a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. You say Google Maps. Is this Google? I thought this was Google Street View. Is it the same
This
thing
is
now?
Street View. This is Street View, yeah.
Fine.
Yep. Okay, so if we look straight out there, you can't see Rottnest. Rottnest should be right there. Easy to see. I know like it looks like there's a lot of light there, but even with that, man, like if you're standing right there, you can see Rottnest so easily. And that is a clear, beautiful day. Okay, so what I did, I then parked up with my car. I'm in the same spot. There's that shrub. Speed it up a little bit. There's Rottnest. You can see it so easily. Yeah, that's on my camera on my phone, my Samsung. I'm not using my P900. If I had my P900, you'll see it easily. And I think I do a little turn here so you can see I'm in the same spot. There we go. That's the house with the pool, with the dudes swimming. So yeah, you can see it plain as day.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yep, you can.
I
Just
live
just before you do, Paul. Hold on, sorry, Paul.
Keep in mind that
Hold
there
on.
is what.
Is that
Sorry.
the end of your presentation, though? Is there any more to follow?
There is one more. Can I play the next one?
If you can just do that, and then if Paul can play devil's advocate.
Yep.
Sorry, Paul.
Yep. Okay, so this is probably about a kilometer up the road. Okay, so there's the porthole windows. That's my landmark. So I'm just like live filming on my phone. So I'm just like swiping. It looks a bit weird. But see, you can't see anything there. And I know devil's advocate, you're probably going to say the sun glare. I don't know if that's what you're going to say, but even with that sun glare, man, Rottnest, you can see it.
Still got one more video though, right, from your camera?
Yep, exactly. Which is this one here. Okay, so there's the porthole windows. In exactly the same spot. You can already see it.
Voila.
Like, and that's on a phone. Like, if you're standing there, you can see it crystal clear. Like, and it doesn't matter what the weather is, even if it's a completely crappy day and it's raining, overcast, heaps of moisture in the air, whatever, rough seas, whatever, you're going to see rot nests no matter what. You can see it all the time. So I wanted to test this because last time I did a presentation like this, probably about, I don't even think it was 2 days. Like, I came back on the show to do the presentation again, and then Google had updated the image and it was magically showing rot nest. So I just wanted to see if now, if I log in and take a look in the next couple of days, if Google Street View has magically changed. So now, devil's advocate, off you go.
Ed Bull.
Yeah, I live close to the Smoky Mountains, and off my back deck, I can see a mountain range that goes, I think I measured it on Google Earth. It could be up to 20, 25 miles away, the mountain range. And you can see like the tree line from about my house, the hills here, but then you can see the mountain range off in the distance. And it's almost like some days I can see 3 mountain ranges. Some days I can only see 1. And I don't even live over any kind of water whatsoever. But it would seem to me that the humidity in the air can obscure something in the distance. And now I'm not sure what Google Earth is using, and if they're updating it, how often they're driving that street, I don't know, so I can't answer that question. If they are updating it, well, that's a different thing. But certain days I can't see that mountain range every day, and I can go at it right now and look and see if it's there or not. And it all depends on the weather condition, whether the humidity is higher or whether the humidity is lower. And we do get very, very humid temperatures here where I live, close to the Smoky Mountains. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. It could be, you're right, that they're changing Google Earth, or it could be that they're catching it when it's not visible. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, I can safely say here in Perth, man, like, our weather's not to gloat, but it's some of the best in the world. We have beautiful weather, man, and like more often than not, the weather is clear. And even when there is bad weather, you can see that. That's from where I was on both of those. I'm roughly 17 kilometers away from Rottnest, and I'm probably at a pretty decent elevation, so it should be very easy to see. And it always is with eye. It's just, I don't know what kind of camera they're using on the Google car, but it should still be able to pick that up. I see if like 17 kilometers away, the curve calculates kind of adds up why they take it away, because it doesn't work in with their globe. So that's the way I look at it anyway. They take it away until we kind of bring it up on the channel, and then it magically reappears. It happened with me, and it happened with Tony. So I just wanted to see if it would happen again.
We shall see. Watch this space.
Pretty sure it happened with Tony, didn't it? With that island?
Yeah. They completely changed the beachside view of Isle of Man while we were using it. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's all algorithms, eh? That's why I wanted to do it on the live stream, because this is Hangouts, which is Google. So algorithms will be running through here and probably already doing the work and changing things.
I mean, the algorithms are that good that they can change an image. I mean, that's kind of interesting if they can do that. I'd like to see the software that's running that. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It'd be interesting to see the kind of software they're using to update an image. I think it would have to be somebody going in and actually changing it. To me,
I think you'd be surprised at the processing power and the algorithms running through Google, man. Like, if those deep fake videos and stuff like that, it's insane. They even run barges out in the ocean with like servers.
Pop up on this video.
Sorry, what was that?
Like we were talking about chemtrails once on Nathan's video, and then the next time I went to the live stream, on the bottom it was one of those Encyclopedia Britannicas on chemtrails. I'm like, yo, they know, like, it's all just like, you can even say like it with an accent, like it knows the words, like the algorithm, whatever's listening to, and it runs through every like every video. So you hit certain words and you just get flagged. And that's, you put in flat Earth debate, Nathan doesn't come up on the top searches at all.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about updating an image. Now, I mean, I would agree that there could be, you're picking up our conversation is, but to live or to go in and algorithmically, all of it done computer-wise to update an image specifically, that'd be a little bit, I mean, it's possible, but I'd like to see the software that's running that.
Well, some of the possibilities that went through our mind when it happened with the Isle of Man were, number one, there's like a Bluetooth connection that's going into, you know, a computer somewhere that assesses what you've taken as an image versus what Google Earth presents. I mean, it was way out there with the kind of level of technology that we would assume might be applied when we're spitballing about the possible reasons. The other is that somebody's just watching the show who works and changes it. That's the other alternative, because of all the places, you know, at the time, no one was looking at St. Bees. You know, Google hasn't changed in that location. We highlight something very specific, and then the following day it changes. You know, what else? What other conclusion can you draw? You know, just happened to have had timed set changes due to be made to a beach view in Google Earth from St. Bees. Maybe, just seems very far-fetched. More likely,
it's either an algorithm or someone's watching the show and raises it back at home base, and they just change it. You know,
Well,
it's
now-
all outsourced anyway.
Now, I would say this, I'm back on the side of maybe saying that could be true, is just about every photo has a GPS stamp associated with it. You know, like every time I take a photo, it actually knows where I took the photo. So there could be that too. They're just using the GPS location, because they're obviously, Google has it, we have it, it's all kind of being connected at some point. So
Yeah, that was
there
the
could
lines,
be truth to that. So.
That was the lines that we considered. That, or someone watches the show.
And if
So
it
we'll
has
have to know
been
which way you're
changed,
pointing
it's
based
really
on the,
just it's not that hard.
Camera.
Sorry,
It's
go-
really
go-
just them going back to that same image and then just taking off what they've changed and restoring the original image.
Right.
It's not really that technical.
Go on, right the hand.
I was going to say they have like your, you know, they have your GPS, so they got your coordinates. They probably have your altitude. They'll have your point of view from the picture, so they'll know like every piece of data that they need to match up to the their main database, and then makes changes to make everything fit again.
Oh, God, I can't believe that of the two scenarios that the panel has opted for option A. You know, it's algorithmically based, and you know, in the case of the Isle of Man, Anthony's camera's been scanned without him knowing by Google, who've then gone into the system, or it's automatically adjusted the position of a beach view based on an automatic algorithm. It just seems so far-fetched, though. But if you want to argue that, fine. I mean, we're all just speculating here, after all.
I agree, it is far-fetched, and I don't know, maybe 10 years ago I would say that it's much more realistic that it's a human watching it. But now, as the progression of like what computers and how they're just, you know, even with like just YouTube videos that say a couple words and they're, you know, all of a sudden not in search history. So I'm putting more and more, I guess, distrust in how good the computers are getting.
We just need to look at when you get a copyright strike. If you've played something on your video, it just goes through the sound. Like it picks up the sound and then puts it back to the author, and then you get a copyright strike. And that's all just AI and just processing power. I mean, like Google has barges out in the middle of the ocean that literally have servers on them. They've got them under the ocean. Their processing power is insane, and their AI development is also pretty insane. So something like this is not far-fetched for Google.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we're stuck with them. That's all we've got.
Still a little scary though that, like, you know, this stuff is happening this quick. Like it's like they're, you know, covering up, you know.
But if we were the enemy, wouldn't you want to watch us?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, keep your enemies closer.
Exactly.
Know your enemy.
Yeah.
So
know your
let's
enemy.
go back to a different topic. Somebody brought
A famous
somebody
guy.
said, Oh God, here we go again. Okay, to a different
At least
subject.
it wasn't chocolate.
Oh, here we go. I can't even say anything. All right, listen up. I'm going to talk about a subject that was breached earlier in the show. Somebody said military retards. Well,
I didn't hear that.
I oughta.
I didn't hear that either.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Nah, that must have been the voices in your mind.
It was
I
right
did
at
not
hand
hear that
said
mentioned
in
once.
reference to me saying that we should maybe
No.
say something after we're finished talking. He said we're not going to be saying over like, and I quote, military retards.
Ah, there you go. Well
Yeah.
remembered.
Who was that?
It was flat water.
They said it was me. Yeah, I stand behind that. If you go to war because your country tells you to, I don't think you're that bright.
Why I oughta. Over.
Copy that over. Copy that over.
God, 10-4.
I didn't even hear that. I completely missed that one.
I do remember it now. It's been reminded me.
Well, look, I know I'm passionate, but it's very like not on military. But when we're talking, like I called out in school more than anyone. Like it was you don't understand the restraint that it takes for me to not call out. So when people, I don't think there's a person alive that calls out like I do. But I have controlled and I fight myself on a daily basis to let people talk. And I've gone off. People hear me go off. But when we're in a quasi-professional setting, live, trying to be professional, can we all just do it? Like there shouldn't need to be these set of rules. We can all just do it. Just restrain yourself, wait for the other person to finish. It's crazy. It's like they use it as a tactic. They hear you're making a point and then they want to jump in so you can't make it.
Well, sometimes it's hard to know when people are finished.
Yeah,
That was my only
well,
point I was
no,
trying to say.
no, because there's a difference between not knowing when a point is finished and then everyone starts talking, and when two people are engaged in a conversation. Because I'm having these same problems in my relationships in my life. And I don't mean, a relationship between me and a female. I mean people in general. The problem is that when you say something, they hear the question at the point that they want to hear it, when if they heard the whole thing, they would understand the entire question. You know what I'm saying? So they're only answering the first 5 words, which isn't the full context. You need to shut up and listen to all of that and then respond, because you don't know what you're talking about, because it's my point, not yours.
Can we say communication skills have been watered down?
I do agree that some
Absolutely.
people are jumping in on purpose just to try and shut people up, yeah. But sometimes, from what I did hear, was like someone would pause after asking like something that sounded like a question, so then someone would try to respond even though the person wasn't finished asking. That's all I was trying to counteract.
Yeah, that happens. It's a certain amount of conversational process when it's this setting is going to be disturbing. There's going to be people stepping on people. That just happens. But by the same token, that's not the bit that most of us would take issue with. It's when there's an actual point being made and then it's interrupted, because it's easier to interrupt than address the point. If you know where the point's going and you just step all over it, it's like, well, then I won't have to address it. So it is just a tactic. Yeah, the other bits aside, most people would forgive somebody if there's a rhetorical question asked and then it gets answered part of the statement that has an overriding question at the end. That's forgivable. But most of the time that's not what's happening. There's a point that's genuinely being made, and it's better to rumpus the point than let it be put out there in the open.
It's like, for
Yeah, I mean, you were
example, when
asking
you
that guy.
say, can I have gas pressure without, when you ask, how can you have gas pressure without a container? They hear that portion and then they continue to basically say what they already just said. When the question is, how can you have gas pressure without a container if, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't wait for
Well,
the
you can have gas pressure. You can have gas pressure with a container. I'd quite like to hear the etc. etc.
Say again?
I would argue that you can have gas pressure without like a solid container to contain the gas. So I'd quite like to hear the etc. part you mentioned.
Well, can you show it to me terrestrially right here without a description
Sure,
of what the
you
sky
could use a
does?
field. You could use some field to contain it. So if you had some gas, you could quite easily use an electric field to create gas pressure. It'd be a gradient, of course, but that's what we observe in our atmosphere. And by the globe model,
What's the gas
gravitational
in?
field,
What is the gas contained in?
the field. Like you can contain it with an
What's the
electric.
field? What's the field contained in this thing you're talking about?
And the thing I'm talking about, you could just have a field in open air.
No, not just you can. In this particular one, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the ionized gas inside of a vacuum chamber that's being magnetized. So
No,
what?
That's not what I'm talking about.
What are you
Okay,
talking
so then
about?
show us.
Hold on. What are you talking about then? Tell us.
I'm saying if you create an electric field, like a centered electric field in open air, and ionize some gas nearby, it will be attracted to that electrode. You don't need any
Our
sort of
atmosphere
container.
is not ionized though, but is our atmosphere?
I didn't say our atmosphere was ionized. I said
Okay, so then how can our atmosphere have pressure if one of the requirements is to be ionized?
No,
and
I
our
didn't.
atmosphere.
Okay, I didn't say the atmosphere had to be ionized for us to have pressure. I was asked for an example of pressure without a container, and I said you could use an electric field to show pressure in an ionized gas. However, the only reason that gas has to be ionized in this example is so that it can interact with that field. By the globe model, as I did say, our atmosphere is held on, quote unquote, with gravity, which doesn't require an ionized gas. It's the mass that lets it
Okay,
interact with
so
that field.
demonstrate that then.
You can't demonstrate that on Earth because gravity is such a weak force.
Hold on. Can we, hold on. So, hold on. What was your guy? The guy that was just talking to 10th Man? What's your name? Sorry, I just can't see. My screens are all messed up.
No, Azar.
Azar. Can we just have Azar and 10th Man, please? Thank you.
What?
I didn't hear a 10th man. I think you mean right the hand.
My bad. Right the hand. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're at you say that gravity can do what the magnetic field can do, so can you demonstrate that? And then you said, no, you can't.
No, I said you can't demonstrate like pressure without a container using a gravitational field because
I know, that's the
on
problem.
Earth. No, I was about to say why, if you let me finish. Because we're currently in a gravitational field, as I would argue. So if you would have to create a more powerful gravitational field than the one of Earth, which by
And
our
the
current
one you
technology
assume.
we can't do.
Hold on.
Okay, so the only way that I can prove that gravity can be the force that makes air pressure without a solid container is to assume that the Earth is the example.
No.
Okay, so
I was
can you show
saying
me
you can
another example?
prove that a field in general can hold pressure. The magnetic field can do it, the electric field can do it. It's really easy to demonstrate that on Earth because Earth doesn't have very powerful magnetic or electric fields. So with
Okay,
our
but
technology,
the problem is that
with our
that's not
technology,
what's
if you let me
happening.
finish.
Hold on, right the hand.
But you're moving.
I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm saying you're asking how can we prove that gravity could contain some atmosphere? Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you.
You can't directly prove that gravity.
No, you can't.
No, right. We can go back and forward
Yeah,
and just
so
say
that's-
you can't.
But you can't.
I'm saying
Because you can't.
I'm saying.
And you have a why. I understand the why. You say because we're in the gravitational field. But that would be like me saying my brain controls everything that you see. I make all of the objects fall. I make everything you see. But you can't test that because you're in my brain.
No, that's completely
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
No, it's not.
You can't test it because you're inside of
If you
it.
let me
You can't.
If you let me finish and stop just screaming about what you can and can't test because of some made-up scenario, I said you can't directly prove and create a model using gravity on Earth. And you said you understand the why behind that because Earth's gravitational field is too powerful. However, we can do it in separate parts. We could say prove that a field can hold pressure in general. Then we have to prove that the Earth, one, has a gravitational field, and two, that this field is strong enough. Doing those two things separately and also proving that a field can hold pressure would allow us to conclude that the gravitational field of Earth can't hold pressure. Would you
Why
disagree?
don't I do disagree. I disagree
That's so
because
nonsense,
Hold on, John.
man.
Hold on. Go ahead, right the hand.
okay, so first you just go gravity can do it. Okay, you didn't prove
No, I didn't.
gravity. Yeah, you did. You just said if electromagnetism can do it, and that's a force, then gravity, which isn't a force, however, can do it. So what would you say to that? If gravity has been described as George Muser as not a force, so how is it holding the air in?
Right. I'm not saying the force caused by electromagnetism. I'm saying if you create an electric field.
Okay, but you need a force, right, to hold the air in. Would you agree to that?
Well, the air has to feel some force, yes.
Okay,
But
so
you're
gravity
saying-
is not the force then, because gravity is not a force. So what force holds the air to Earth?
The force that is right. You're gonna probably not like this, but it's the fictitious force essentially that we feel due to the gravitational field.
So
Yeah, we're not gonna like it.
The fantasy is holding.
Can a fictitious force do what a real force does?
No, I'm not saying fictitious force in the English definition as in it doesn't exist or it is fictional. I'm saying fictitious force in the physical sense, as in it's a force, as an apparent force felt because of some difference in reference frame.
Does air have matter?
Apparent is kind of the same thing, though. So you're
Is air physical? Does air have a physicality to it?
You're asking if air is matter? Yes.
Okay, so wouldn't that be a physical requirement for the force, since air?
Again, you're right. Again, I'm not using fictitious to mean it's not a real force. It is a real force that
so
the air does
gravity
feel.
is a force.
No.
So you're saying gravity is a force?
No, I'm not saying gravity is a force. Again, I'm saying gravity causes that fictitious force.
Okay, what fictitious force?
what? It causes the fictitious force. Like, is it?
Wait, it's causing a
Is
real
it the
force?
fictitious force, or does it cause a force, or does it cause a fictitious force? Make up your mind.
Again, I'm not using fictitious to mean fake or not real. I'm using.
What do you mean it? How are you using it then?
I'm using it. And
Are
it's
you making up your own
scientific-
language?
scientific-
Look, can we all
No,
let
that's-
Right the Hand drag this guy by his short hairs, please?
If you like. So, do you want me to answer the question, or do you want to clarify what you mean by your question first?
Well, no, I want you to clarify about what you meant when you said fictitious. Like, what's the difference between an actual force, such as pressure being applied, or a fictitious force of gravity? Can you,
Right. Well, another example of a fictitious force then would be the force that you think you feel when you're on a roundabout being spun round really quickly.
Okay, hold
Now-
on. I gotta stop you there, because I'm actually being spun around with a real force. That's why I feel something.
No. Right. So if you're
So am I not spinning around on a roundabout?
if you're spinning around on a roundabout and not accelerating or decelerating, there is no force on that roundabout.
So
currently.
how am I moving? How am I moving around and around if there's no force?
Because you don't require a force to stay moving, you require a force to accelerate.
So the air is not trying to stop me. The bearings on the merry-go-round don't create.
All right, you misunderstand. I mean, there's no net force. So if you set up a roundabout in such a way that it was constantly driven, such that the driving
how would
force.
you get
again,
hold on. How would you get the bodies up into motion? How would you get them?
Right.
Would you need a force?
Can you let me
to
provide?
speed the?
Can you please let me provide a full answer before jumping in at random points when you feel you've got
But
something?
you're jumping around. You're saying that you're moving objects, which creates a force. So what force got those objects to start?
Right. Say you're on a roundabout and you're initially not moving, right? Yes, you have to apply a force to accelerate that roundabout up to some speed.
Okay, what force?
Let's say it's someone pushing it, or you've got some drive mechanism.
What force is that? Well, name the force that's being.
Would you want me to call it Bob?
No, I want you to call it what it is.
It's a driving force. That's all it is.
No, so driving force is an actual force. What causes the?
Again, I just said you could have someone push that roundabout, or
Okay, so somebody is pushing. So somebody is applying pressure to you and moving you.
no, someone can apply. Right? Do you want me to use like all the actual sciencey words? Someone would apply a torque to that roundabout, and because the roundabout is solid, it's not going to just move out of the way. They're going to apply a torque to the roundabout, and it's going to accelerate that roundabout, like, rotationally. So you're going to end up with some angular velocity there. Agreed?
Do you have to continue applying pressure to keep the merry-go-round going at it?
If there was no friction, then no.
I didn't, but there is.
Right.
So
let me finish. Let me finish.
Say yes first.
Let me finish before
let's just let,
jump in. And
Let's just let him get to the end of
contradict
his full example and then right at the hand address it. Go ahead.
me. Right, so do you want me to go all the way back to the part where I said, well, another good example of a fictitious force?
We've got all that. You said. We've got,
Well,
we're
I'd
so
really
far-
like you to tell me
hold
how
on, hold on. I
gravity,
just want
which
to
is a
get us
fictitious
back
force,
on.
can make something.
We're in equivalence.
Well, you've asked what a
hold on,
fictitious force
guys,
is.
Guys, I'm trying to get you both back on track. We're into an equivalence of a fictitious force that you're trying to describe. So we've got a roundabout that's being rotated. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, off of gas pressure for some unknown reason.
I know, but let him get to the end of his example.
Well, that was my point. The car is powered by gas pressure.
We'll get there. He wants to make an equivalence. Let's see how well it goes.
Right. The for some reason is specifically because you've asked, what is a fictitious force? What do you mean by fictitious in this context? So I've moved to a more familiar context that's easy to wrap your mind around so that I can use the word fictitious in that context and you can derive its meaning from that. That's the reason I've went on
The
to
problem is
roundabouts.
not my understanding. Okay,
Hold on.
Don't say I can't
know
wrap
he's
my
given.
mind around
Hold on.
it. 'Cause
Hold
when
on.
you say-
Hold on. I know he's given a preamble, but he still hasn't given his example in full. I just want him to give that. I know he's taken the opportunity to give a bit of a preamble. Fine, but let him just get to the end of the example.
Right. So if you imagine yourself on a roundabout, or if you actually go and get on a roundabout, and using some mechanism, you drive it at a constant speed. You could have somebody push it really accurately, you could have a motor attached to it that runs at a constant speed, but whatever mechanism you use, this roundabout runs at a constant angular speed. Now, on that roundabout, if you're standing on it, you'll feel like you're being pushed off, right? It's not real force, nothing's actually pushing you. The force is caused, or it's an apparent force in that rotational frame, to put it in the correct scientific words, because you're accelerating and because you're constantly accelerating in a circle. And acceleration used there to mean the rate of change of velocity, and your velocity includes direction because it's a vector.
I heard your example.
So that's
but my problem with your example is you said there's nothing pushing you after clarifying quite clearly that there's something pushing you. So I'm a bit confused in your example.
right. What would you say is pushing me then? If I'm standing on a roundabout and I obviously feel like I'm being pulled off if it's running at
It's
some
one of those
constant
times
speed.
that you ask a question and then answer it.
Sorry?
If what's pushing you, then you proceeded to answer your own question.
No, I'm saying, what would you say was pushing me if
To your
I'm
example,
on a roundabout and feel like I'm being
trying to
pulled
answer.
off of it?
Oh. I would say it's the thing that you just detailed in great detail, the things that could be exampled as pushing you at a constant velocity, those things. So when you say there's no force...
Right, they're not pushing
I
me,
hadn't
they're
quite
pushing
finished.
the roundabout
I know
around.
it's irritating when we explain double speak back to you. You've said quite clearly, there's a force. You even said we could call it Bob. Remember? Yeah. Now you're saying
There's
no
no net force.
You're doing it again, my friend. I've let you
I'm
give
not
your
do-
example, and now I'm trying to clarify the double speak contradiction in your example, and you won't let me. I don't know why. Maybe it's a tactic, like you pointed out earlier. Is it?
Well, on you go. Finish your.
You don't need
analysis
to
of
give
my
me
example.
permission, you just need to shut up. Right, so you've gone to great lengths to explain a force. Bob, pushing the roundabout. That would be a actual force. Now you're saying after describing it in great detail, there is no force. But we can assume a fictitious force is pushing us off when there's an actual force at play. Bob, the force!
Right, so that your issue is there's a force on the roundabout, therefore that force must be pushing you off of the roundabout. The force that's driving the roundabout is only there to keep it at a constant speed because in real life we have things like friction. There's no net force on that roundabout because it's not accelerating. So there's no net force left over to push you anywhere.
So Bob
We
is
call the
magic.
force you
Sorry,
feel.
sorry. Does Bob expend any energy when he pushes it? No net force. He's pushing it. He's got to have had his breakfast, my friend. He's expelling energy, my friend. What the hell are you talking about? No net force? You're saying he magically... I haven't finished. I haven't finished. I'm clarifying my question like you did. Yeah?
Okay.
So no net force? Does Bob survive on air and nothing else? Does he not produce energy and sweat when he pushes? What are you talking about?
Right, for a start, I'd appreciate it if you didn't yell. We can have a very civil conversation without raising voices and telling people to shut up.
Oh, okay.
Now...
Okay, no worries. Pretty pleased with sugar. Can you explain how somebody putting quite a lot of energy into putting a roundabout is no net force?
Again, there's no need to be sarcastic
Just
either.
don't tell me what there's no
I did
fucking
say
need
there's
for, you
no-
stupid man. Tell me why you've just explained that there's no force when you've gone into great detail explaining that there's a force being applied.
Yes, so there is a force being applied.
So when you say there
force
isn't,
that-
so when you say there's no net force, you just double speaking, contradicting yourself then, because you've just explained again that there is a force.
There is a force.
Yeah, I know! That's the contradiction, you stupid fundy!
I'm not
You're going to tell me not to shout at you, you stupid
dick.
dick? Listen up, dick
If
brain.
you-
You're clearly
then let me
retarded.
explain.
You seem to go into great efforts to explain how there's a force, only 2 moments later explain that there isn't one. Are you retarded?
No, that's not what I've done.
Sorry, anybody else
said
feel
there
that that's
are
not what he's
forces,
done?
but there's
Anybody
no
else
net
feel
force.
this asshole's not double speaking the hell out of us?
He's got contradictilitis.
Maybe you would like to criticise my method in pointing out your retarded nature and your double speak and your contradiction. Maybe you'd like to go on that little straw man and criticise the format in which I've pointed out how stupid this example is.
It sounds
No, no,
pretty much
if you let
exactly
me
like the
finish my
Coriolis
explanation, I will
confusion.
explain
It
why.
is a force and it's not a force.
There's
and
no
it is
net
and it's
force
not,
because
and
you have two forces acting upon each other to create a zero. That's why there's no net force,
Yes.
fuck. So
Yeah,
you do
that's what I
have
meant.
two forces, not zero forces and a fake one. You have two real ones. Come on, man.
No.
Yeah,
If you let
yes.
me finish explaining, I will explain it. So I'm saying there's no net force on the roundabout because the friction balances the driving force we're applying. If there was a net force, the roundabout would accelerate because F equals ma. Works in rotational cases as well.
Oh, F equals ma, huh? Define the M.
What? Mass?
Yeah.
All I'm saying by that, all I meant by F equals ma was
You clearly
Newton's
didn't
law.
hear the question.
That,
Did you not hear the question?
sorry?
Did you not hear the question?
Define what M means. Well,
Yes.
I said it's mass.
No, define mass.
Define mass. It's
You seem
the-
to say things with an upward inflection when you're surprised to be questioned about it. Yes, define mass.
Well, I actually only thought he meant say what M means in the respect of that equation. Hence, I just said mass.
No
If
worries.
you want to know
I'll
what
say it
mass
again.
is,
I'll say it again even slower. Even though we appreciate that. We know. Yeah. You're saying
A
the
nicer
word
voice, nicer voice.
mass. Yeah. Demonstrated that you thought we just meant say mass for M. We all know M is mass.
So,
we want you to.
want me to
We want you
define
to.
mass?
We want you to.
How hard it has been
I'll
built
try
on
again
the-
without interruption. See how long he lasts. I'll try and explain what's been asked of you twice for a third time. Define mass.
Define mass. Right. So mass is just how we measure how much matter an object has. It can also be thought of as inertia or how hard it is
Negative.
to accelerate
Negative.
an object.
That's two different definitions, and they're both wrong.
Okay, well, how do you define that?
The amount of substance in something is defined as a mole.
Shout out to James Richard for the super chat.
Mass
do you
is a
want me to-
redundant word. It's only used with gravity. It's a redundant word.
Did he understand the explanation to him that it was the wrong definition?
No, I would argue that I did give the right definition, 2 of them actually.
Oh, you gave two definitions for one word.
Yeah, because words don't always have one meaning. If you look up
Oh,
a word,
they don't.
Oh
Let me
dear.
let me tell
Oh
you
dear,
something,
dear.
sunshine.
That's a bit of a problem. You think that words don't have specific definitions. Oh, right. Well, that's why we asked you to define it, and you're saying there's two. Do you know what an equivocation fallacy is?
Mass is just how hard it is to
Not the
make an
question.
object.
That's not the question.
No, that's not the question.
Do you know what an equivocation fallacy is?
No, I actually don't.
Look it up right now.
I mean, it'd be easier if you just gave me your definition rather than me having to go and Google it.
Yeah, it's precisely
I'm
what
not
you're doing. It's what
saying
you're. I'll
anything.
tell you what. I'll tell you. It's what you're doing by giving two definitions. That's what it is. It's an equivocation
You can
fallacy.
give
That's what this
multiple
is.
definitions
Yeah, I'm
of
trying
almost
to. I'm
every
trying to
word.
tell you. You asked me to tell you rather than Google search it. I'm halfway through a sentence, and of course, this fuckwit's talking.
All right, continue.
You don't need to give me permission. I said this as well. You need to shut your mouth when people talk. Not give me permission to talk. Not say over. Just shut up when other people are talking. An equivocation fallacy is what you have done by giving us two definitions for one word.
Right, so if you want me to stick with one definition, I'll say mass is how hard it is to accelerate an object, a measure of.
Sorry, man. He broke up. I didn't hear him if he's sticking with one.
Mass is just a measure of how hard it is to accelerate an object. If you're talking about a mass as in the attribute of that object.
Yes, that's inertia.
Right, well, do you want me to call it inertia then? I mean, we're on a real big tangent here because I was trying to just explain what fictitious
you're
meant.
clearly confused. You said F equals MA, and we've asked you to define F. Now you're telling us that you want to use inertia. I don't really understand. Is that in F equals MA? Or should we stick to defining what M is?
No, well, actually, if you're talking about rotational acceleration, then we do use rotational inertia rather than mass.
That's lovely. Is
I
that
don't remember
is that
the
in F
equation right
equals
off my
MA?
head.
Is it your example was F equals MA?
No, I only quoted F equals MA again, as I did describe, because I was simply iterating the fact that we require some force to cause an acceleration. Some net force, I should say. So by defining the roundabout as to be not accelerating, it's turning with a constant angular speed, then there is by definition no net force.
Okay, let's go back to the topic. Define M. Define mass.
Just how much matters in an object?
That's
I
the
don't know
second
why you're so
definition.
set on me defining what mass
The
is.
second definition that you've used, that's an equivocation fallacy, and both of your definitions are wrong. I already told you that.
It's a mole.
So what's your definition of mass then? If you want me to
I
use
just
that.
make the claim.
Your claim.
It's your claim. Do you want me to explain your claim?
All I said was F equals MA and the attempt to invoke Newton's law in your mind that any acceleration requires some driving force. Some driving net force.
Listen,
F equals
you
MA
invoke-
isn't really applicable to the roundabout example.
You
I only
invoke
brought it
F
up.
equals MA. As we all know, every formula, every variable in each formula must be rigorously defined. We asked you to define M, which is mass. You first equivocated by using two different definitions for the same term, and both of your definitions were wrong to begin with.
And with that, I'll say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley 1980 live stream, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you tuned in, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. If you want to keep up to date with the community debate, be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum. A massive thank you to all of today's debating panel. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Yeah, because everybody was muted and I got kicked. I don't know.
So if the Earth was spinning, what is supposed to be the effect of?
Hold on a second.
Oh, you
We
want to
didn't get
bring up the
the.
fact
Hold on
that
a second. Hold on a second. We didn't get. Why we jump into the Earth is spinning?
Sorry.
He hasn't
Sorry.
defined
Just
mass
wanted.
yet.
I'm because I was just saying that they're saying the gravity attracted. That's why I was like, okay, if it's spinning because of the force, then what's happening to the people that are being in that spin? So they're
Oh, I
being
see.
thrown off the.
He's
but
highlighting
I'm
the
sorry,
contradiction.
I jumped ahead. Go
I
right
see.
ahead.
Yeah, I see. You're highlighting the contradiction. In his example, he's got a roundabout that's throwing you off, and yet in his example of gravity, you've got something that's holding you on. I see what you're saying. But we still didn't get to the definition of mass, which is what John was
Yes,
about
that's
to
what
do.
I was saying. I apologize about that. I mean,
No, that's
go
all right.
back to that part.
Shout out to Unicorn Laser Eyes for hitting the super chat after the show finishes. Really appreciate your support anyway. I mean, I'm hoping this. I mean, John and I have got involved at the point that there's been an equivocation. So, you know, when are we going to ever get back to the point that the hand can carry on dragging this guy around by his short hairs while he presupposes gravity is a force? I'd love to get back to that point.
I hear a lot of background noise. If you're not speaking, go on mute.
There's no one in the Hangout, someone in the Discord server.
My word, people. All right. Is he
Amount
still
of
here?
matter. Mass is the amount of matter. A mole is a number of particles. You guys keep on going back to that incorrect definition.
Son, just because a mole is a specified amount of substance that contains doesn't nullify the fact that each are entirely based on the amount of matter or substance that something contains. For crying out loud.
So the mass is the amount of matter. It also is the resistance to force.
The mass
which is a definition
is not the amount
its
of matter.
and
I
it's
just told you that is the definition of a mole. Do not repeat the same nonsense again. Define
amount of
mass.
matter is in
fact, I want you to cite it.
Is one
Cite
mole,
it.
is 1 mole of lead? Hold on. Is 1 mole of lead the same as 1 mole of gold?
He's not making an example. Why have I got to step in again? I really want to get back to the point where the hand is actually dragging you around by your short hairs. We're still on this equivocation. I don't get it. So we've got.
You can have a mole of gold.
I'm still
or a mole
talking,
of
mate. I'm
lead.
still talking, my friend. My friend.
That's not me that's talking. That's someone else that's talking about
Oh,
moles
my
versus
bad.
mass.
Sorry. I'm
Moles
really
is the
sorry.
number of particles. Mass is the amount of matter in kilograms, for example.
Mass is not defined as the amount of from the Royal Society of Chemistry. Studies have shown that the amount of substance is often incorrectly identified with mass. So you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the amount of the
not
substance.
wrong.
Mass is still defined as the amount of matter inside of something.
Did you guys mute me?
Yeah, matter. Sorry,
Wait,
where
can
do you
I
feel
talk?
there's a sorry? Where do you think there's a difference between matter and the amount of stuff? Do you think stuff is matter, or are we talking at cross purposes here?
Stuff. Matter is stuff.
I wasn't
A mole
talking
is
to
only
you.
the number of
I
particles.
wasn't talking to you. The guy who just made the claim.
A mole tends to generalize to like number of atoms or something specific like that. So like 1 mole of carbon. 1 mole of
He's
carbon
just saying the
12
same
is
thing
exactly
again.
12 grams
He's
of
just going to
carbon
repeat
12.
himself. We heard.
Yep.
So,
But a mole of lead is not
you're
12
saying
grams of
this guy? Who's this guy that keeps jumping in? Just, mate.
Zanuck.
Yeah,
Calm
he's
down,
Sanic
Zanuck.
idiot. Hey, Betty,
Hey,
go ahead and
you guys,
mute him.
You guys aren't getting the definitions correctly. Mass is the
Go
amount
ahead
of
and
matter
mute
in
him.
kilograms.
Thank you.
Mole is the number of particles.
Just go ahead and mute him, or do I need to go in there and mute him?
Zanuck, just wait.
He's muted.
There's one dude that's just trying to explain the same thing over and over again.
Yep.
The amount of stuff, the amount of matter inside something is a mole. Something that is rigorously defined. Unlike mass, which also seems to be
No, but
inertia.
1 mole. Yeah, 1 mole of different substances has different mass though.
Yeah. Oh my God. You frigging weasel. Let me say this one more time. Just because a mole is a specified amount of substance that contains doesn't nullify the fact that each are entirely based on the amount of matter or substance that something contains. Do you
Yeah, that's the
understand that?
definition of a mole, which is really nice and useful for chemistry,
God.
but it's useless
In the
if you want
industry,
to.
what industry? In retardia?
Said in chemistry. So yeah, generally speaking, when you're talking science, you have very rigorously defined terms. So you're saying in chemistry. Well, what are we talking here? We're
I
talking
just
about
gave him
something
a
that.
chemistry
No,
definition
you're
that said it
giving the
wasn't
correct-
it.
You're given the correct definition of a mole. Yes, it is the amount of some substance in some given suspension, say. But mass is the amount of absolute matter in something, in an
Bullshit.
object.
Bullshit. From
Right, well, how do you
Professor
define
John,
mass?
hold on a
It's
second.
just
From
it's
Professor-
the second time
hold
he's
on.
read this.
Oh.
John's read this once to you.
We've got to the point where we're just arguing over semantics, to be honest. Because again,
What are
mass is
semantics? Semantics are words and their meanings.
It's not semantical. It's not semantical because here's the thing. We're talking about a fictitious force that you said is moving something, and your proof of that was a formula. So if you're going to say, well, the parts of the formula, I don't really know, I can't really define, but it's proof that you don't need a force to have something moving at a constant rate, we're going to call you out on it. And that's what we're doing.
Perfect.
So you
No, my
try
proof-
to weasel, hold on, you try to weasel away from an actual force being what is continuously sustaining the movement of that merry-go-round by showing us a formula that you can't properly define the individual components of.
No, so the formula I brought up, as I did say before, was specifically to talk about what we require force to accelerate any object. That's all I meant by it. But the actual mass of the roundabout isn't what we should be looking at. So F equals ma technically is not the correct formula to use. That's stuff in linear senses. We would want to be talking about angular momentum and hence should be talking about angular inertia.
Oh
But
God.
to not confuse the
I'll
point,
tell you
and
what.
simply
Just
say
get
that
back.
means it.
We're way off base. Just go back to the friggin' gas pressure without a container. That was your initial claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to show that to us or not?
I mean, I don't have an experiment set up, if that's what you mean. No.
Not an experiment, a demonstration.
Well, I don't have a demonstration set up either.
So why would we accept it?
What?
Well, it violates the law of nature. Entropy.
No, it doesn't. Because there's some work being done on it.
Oh, brother.
Right,
Hold on, John.
Okay.
Oh, was that it? Hand wave dismissal? Nuh-uh.
No, right. So, I thought you were wanting to talk about something there.
Yeah,
You
I
said
made
it,
I made a
against
statement.
entropy.
Yes, I made a quite clear statement which got a hand wave dismissal from you. Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah, I was shocked at the fact that you would bring up such a thing when it was clearly false.
Oh,
that's why I was like, nah, that's not correct. I can provide an explanation as to why that's not correct if you like, and you won't interrupt me during it.
Sure, what specifically are you saying I was incorrect about?
You were saying that violates the laws of entropy to have gas pressure without a container. And I was saying, no, that's incorrect.
Yeah, then there was a long pregnant pause, and I said, oh right, just a hand wave dismissal then.
Right, so the reason I was saying that's incorrect, because in the case of a field, there's work being done on that gas to hold it where it is. So there's no issue with entropy.
Wow, that's an amazing, amazing explanation. Can you show us, please?
Again, we're moving way off base. You wanted me, you initially asked.
Sorry. Sorry, don't hand wave dismiss it. Did you hear the question? Did you hear the question?
You initially started with someone initially said, I forget who it was at this point, that you can't have gas pressure without a container.
That's correct.
And I said, no, I would argue against that.
Yeah, we don't need a summary of what's already gone to pass. We know.
Yep.
We don't need you to repeat it again. We're not deaf or
Right.
stupid. So
The
don't
only
interrupt
reason
me
we're here
as you're
is
doing
because you
now,
guys-
asshole. Oi! I was in the middle of a statement. Do you feel that's the
Really?
appropriate moment to talk? I hadn't said over. Over. Hello? Did you feel while I was in the middle of a sentence it was the appropriate time to open your mouth? Over.
No, I'll sit here and wait for a question. That's fine.
Right. So, that would be correct. A law of nature. Entropy. You can't have gas pressure without a container. John's asked you to show him that.
And I've said I don't have a demonstration available.
Then you can't support your claim.
I did say theoretically one could
Who
have
gives a
gas pressure
crap about
inside
your
of it.
theoretically? So you can't support your theoretical bullshit. You can't support it. You can just state it. Wow.
Right.
No, I gave you a very valid experiment that one could do,
It wasn't an experiment.
but I'm not going to do it.
What was
Oh,
what was
okay.
your claimed experiment?
You set up an electric field and throw some ionized gas at it, and you'll see that there becomes some pressure gradient. You can
What are
vary
the
your
three
field, you can vary your
constituent
amount of
parts
gas and
of a
measure
scientific experiment?
Hmm?
What are the three constituent parts of a scientific experiment?
No, this is what you grilled that other guy on. Again, as I did say when you were talking to him about it, it's
I
not
didn't
taught the
do
same way.
anything with any other guy. I'm asking you,
someone
what are the
was
three
talking.
constituent parts of a scientific experiment?
And if you let me finish what I'm saying, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you went off on a tangent about another guy. I didn't do anything with another guy. I'm asking you the question.
And what I was going to say, it's not taught that way where I'm from. So I don't have any three constituent parts. I know what you guys think they are, but we don't get taught it that way.
Oh,
And
you
that's what I
don't.
was
Where are you
wanting to
from?
jump in and say. Hmm?
Where are you from?
Scotland.
They don't teach the scientific method in Scotland?
No, they do teach the scientific method. It's just not, when we're not talking about that anyway. We're talking about experiments. But they
Yeah,
don't
it's
teach
part of
experiments
the
as having
scientific
three
method.
constituent parts.
It's part
Yeah,
of
but
the
we're not talking about the
scientific method.
scientific method as a whole. We're talking
Every
about,
single
can you stop just
scientific
repeating the same
experiment
words
has
over and over
three.
again?
Oh my God. Every single scientific experiment has three constituent parts that make it up. What are
Yeah, so
they?
you want me to say independent variables, and then you might want me to talk about either constants or you can have conclusions and stuff in parts of it and that. But it's not
Independent
taught that
variables
way
and
where I'm
variables
from.
and constants. Well, you're
Yes,
close.
what I said. Right?
You're
But it's
close.
not taught that way where I'm from. So see when you just say,
Oh.
what are the three parts of an experiment? I don't
That's right.
know. And neither did
Okay.
that other guy. Because he's not taught it that way.
What other guy are you?
I can give you
Oh
them
my
as you're
God.
taught them. The other guy that Nathan was grilling for not knowing the three constituent
Was I
parts.
here?
What?
Was I here then? Can't even answer a simple
Can't quite
question.
make out what you're
You got
saying
your
because you
scientific and basic reasoning acumen out of a Cracker Jack box, and you've been exposed. Thank you very much.
Said he could
I
get
don't
the
know where
same.
you
Do
pulled that
they
from.
mix? Hold on. Do they mix concrete any different in Scotland than they do in any other part of the world?
That's not an experiment.
Concrete, by definition, is not one specific mixture.
Okay, but you need sand, gravel, concrete, water, right?
Maybe not. You might not want the sand. You might want to add some steel rebar. It really does depend.
Okay, no, you can't make concrete without sand, man.
You
Rebar does not replace sand in concrete. It only reinforces it from moving left to right because concrete has a very strong compaction, but it can be broken in half very easily. So that's why they put rebar in it. I'm in construction, so I know these things.
True, but you can make concrete without sand because sand isn't a
It's
core
not his
component
point.
of concrete.
His point is there's constituent
Let me-
parts to concrete.
But again, we're kind of on a tangent.
No, we're not. We're saying that you can't have X without the components that make up X. And you being from Scotland is not going to change. It takes 3 minutes to fry an egg. So the fact that there is a scientific method that has been agreed upon by the world because of its very empirical way of finding out the cause of things doesn't mean because you're from Scotland that that method doesn't apply to the things that you're trying to prove scientifically.
Yeah, so our experiments do have independent variables, dependent variables, constants, and so on, but it's never taught that those are the three core elements. Because you could quite easily argue that the setup of an experiment is some core element, and then say there's 4 major parts to an experiment. You need to get your independent variables.
Could you argue there's 2 though? Could you make it less? Could you say there's only 1 part though? Could we go down?
Yeah, if you like, you could argue you need your variables and just group independent and dependent together, and your constants.
What about 1? Can we have 1? What about
Hold on.
just an
Sorry,
observation?
hold on.
Can we have only an observation?
Sorry, I'm really sorry to do this to you right the hand. Okay.
That's good, man. Go.
So independent, dependent, and control variables. They're the constituent parts of a scientific experiment. Would you agree?
I wouldn't agree that they're the 3 most simple parts you could put into an experiment to make an experiment, and I wouldn't agree that it can't be
He
subdivided
didn't say
for
simple.
generalized
He
purpose.
said constituent, which means it's needed in the experiment. Do you understand that?
Yeah, so you could just say variables, because technically variables include independent, dependent, and constants, because constants are just variables.
No
you're holding
worries.
constants.
So can I take that you agree? That's what you need to have an experiment. Would you agree? Variables.
You do require those, but you also require other things.
Sure, but they may or may not be required.
Right.
So
my point was, even you just
it's not
say
your
the
point.
3
It's ours.
constituent
It's ours. We're making a point. We're just, dragging you around by it. So we've got 3 constituent parts: independent variable,
Right,
dependent variable.
and I
While
gave
you
you all
talk all over me,
I don't
because
know
of
what
course this is his opportunity to talk again. It wasn't like I shouted at him earlier not to do this, but it's his opportunity to talk. I didn't say over. Do I need to start condescending to you again and saying over when I finish my statement, or can we have a reasonable conversation
No,
where
it
you
does
don't
just
talk
make
over
you
me?
look like a rather retarded pig, but
Yeah,
you know.
we've established with you, it's taken a long while, that we need independent, dependent, and control variables to have an experiment. Now, you might want to expand on that, that's fine. But ultimately, they are the constituent parts. We've got an agreement. Now, there's a point to all that. You said that you'd got an experiment. Now, we want to find out if that experiment has got those 3 constituent parts or not.
Quite easily. I said you could create an electric field, and then
We know.
I said you could create an
Yeah,
electric
yeah,
field
yeah.
and throw some
we know.
ionized gas at it.
Yeah, we
to
know.
use my actual words.
Hello,
and
we
then
know.
Right
We
after
don't
that,
need
I
you
said,
to repeat it. We heard the first time. Now we want the 3 constituent parts of an experiment, not a repetition of what you've told us already. That's what you claim is an experiment. Now let's see if it's got those 3 constituent parts now.
And if you had listened, which was what I had already stated, I did give those parts. I didn't use the names that you like to call them because I'm from a different place.
Oh, well,
where
it's
we
me
don't
then.
call
I'm
them
slow.
those names.
No worries. Let's not worry about where you're from. Just repeat. Let's start with the observed
Oh,
phenomena. There he goes again. So I do need to say over to let you know, because you're retarded, that I've finished speaking, that it's not your turn to talk. So let's start with the phenomena, otherwise known as dependent variable, for your ionized gas quote-unquote experiment. Let's have the dependent variable, please. Over.
Your gas pressure.
The phenomena. Let me get this right. You think the phenomena is gas pressure?
All right. I'm sharing screen.
If you were
Nathan.
creating an experiment, with an
can't see in
electric
there, though,
field
can
and
he?
some
He's in
ionized
Discord.
gas, and you want to see if you can cause gas pressure, you would be measuring the pressure. You would be varying your electric field strength and maybe your amount of ionized gas. So those would be your independents, but your dependent variable would be the gas pressure.
Is there more than one independent variable in this experiment?
You can create more than one independent variable if you like. You
Is
don't have
there
to vary
more
them
than
at the
one
same time forever.
independent variable in your experiment?
Well, let's create a simple experiment then. The
Hold
only
on.
variable
Is there
we
more
vary-
than one independent
We can make it with
variable
one
in
if
your
you just
experiment?
vary field strength. If you'd like to stop interrupting and fucking
I am
listen.
Hold on.
tired
Both of you
of
calm
your-
down, please.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on. We just need one variable at a time. What's the DV in this experiment? The specific experiment you've said is an experiment and used as an example of gas pressure without a container, ionized gas bullshit. Tell us what the DV is. Go.
The one you would be measuring, your dependent variable, would be the gas pressure at the center of it.
So gas pressure. You observe this gas pressure.
No, you're not going to observe it. You're going to use some measuring device to measure it.
Well, natural phenomena observed is the first step. So gas pressure. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can
that's
see
the
gas
first step
pressure.
of the scientific method. You've asked me to define an experiment, and you asked for the dependent variable.
No, you've
I
already
gave
told.
you.
Listen, you've told us you've got an experiment. You've also told us that you understand the three constituent parts of an experiment. Now we're finding out if what you've claimed is an experiment is actually an experiment by you detailing the three constituent parts. Dependent variable so far we've got gas pressure. That's your phenomena, apparently.
Right. And for
Yeah.
one first experiment, you could use the electric field strength as your independent variable. Vary that and measure the gas pressure.
So your
For
independent
constants, you
variable...
could-
Sorry, your independent variable, your presumed cause of gas pressure is what?
If you set up an electric field and had some ionized gas in it, you could vary the electric field strength and measure the pressure of the gas.
Electric
So
field
the
strength.
electric field strength would be your independent variable, and the gas pressure would be the dependent variable. I don't see why you'd have such issue with this.
No, we're writing
We're
it
trying
down.
to write it down.
We're writing it down as you say it.
All right.
So,
Something else?
Gas-
You want me to list some constants that you might want to measure and
Don't
keep?
need to do anything.
nah, just we need the hypothesis now. So electric field strength causes gas pressure. That's what it is. It must be
Would
that.
cause pressure in an ionized gas.
Causes. No, I'm sorry. That's not your observed phenomena. Electric field strength causes gas pressure.
Well, the requirement is that the gas is ionized, such that it can
Sorry, you
interact with the
didn't. That's
electric
not
field.
your dependent. I'm sorry. That's not your dependent variable. Gas pressure is your dependent variable. Unless you want to change it up.
No, that's what I said.
That's
So-
right. That's what you
so-
said.
So your hypothesis is electric field strength causes gas pressure.
No,
Yeah.
that is part of it, yes, but it's not the whole thing.
What do you mean the whole thing? That's it. We've got cause and effect.
Causes
And in-
gas pressure.
I'm talking.
Yeah, causes gas
I'm
pressure
talking.
in
I'm talking.
gas.
I am talking. Yeah. We've got an independent variable and a dependent variable. Now, you might want to list off the things you hold in control, but what we've got as your hypothesis is quite clear. Electric field strength causes gas pressure.
Yeah, in an ionized gas.
Sorry. Nope.
Because one of the
Ionized gas
constants
is not
would
part of
be
it.
how
You did
ionized
not
that gas
observe
is.
an ionized gas. Simple.
What?
What? You did not observe an ionized gas. So I gave you gas pressure. I shouldn't even have gave you that because you didn't observe gas pressure. But I gave it to you anyway just to prove a point. So your dependent variable is not ionized gas pressure.
Right. What I'll do is I'll set up an experiment and I'll use a tube going into the middle and I'll balance a column of mercury on top of it. There's
Which part
something
of
I
this
can
don't you
observe.
understand?
The height of the mercury.
Why is he talking
right?
about this now?
I don't know.
Because you have some issue with me observing the gas pressure. I assumed it would be apparent that you would use some sensor and send that to a computer to record it.
Sure,
That's
but-
you observing the
yeah.
gas pressure.
Sorry, he's already said that. Yes, we accepted.
Right, but then
even
he
that-
said
I'm
he had
in the
an
middle of a
issue with-
sentence. What is your malfunction, my friend? Over. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a sentence. We asked you what
Oh,
your
fucking
observed
finish it,
phenomena
mate.
is, and there he goes again. We asked you, and wrote down what you said. Gas pressure. That's the phenomena you claim you observe. Your independent variable, we also wrote down. Electric field strength. So your hypothesis is electric field strength causes gas pressure.
2 seconds, man. I'll be back in a minute. Someone's at my door.
Yeah,
for a
it's the
sharp
guys in the
exit.
paddy wagon.
Time for a cool, sharp harp.
Yeah. Got time for a song?
That's me
Turn
back.
the lights.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Time
Oh
has
my
come
God.
today. Don't step on me. Time. Did you guys listen to that yesterday?
No.
Oh man.
The lyrics were a bit disappointing. So we've got a train
Oh.
wreck. We've got a complete train wreck here. What's going on?
Yeah, he's got some serious problems here.
Right, do you want to list them off and I'll give you my counters?
Yeah, the first one, we let you go with gas pressure being observed phenomenon. That ain't gonna work. But we'll let you go. We wanted to get through it. Stop messaging me.
Why is that not going to work?
Because you don't observe gas pressure. But we let you go. That's
No, I can
okay.
use a
We
sensor to
accepted it.
detect it.
Okay, we accepted it. Your alternative just shut up. Your alternative hypothesis, electric field strength causes gas pressure, is kind of a train wreck.
Why is that?
Your independent variable is the electric field strength causes gas pressure. We want to see this.
Again, I did say I don't have it set up, so I can't like whip out a camera and show you.
Well, then it's a baseless assertion. Then this isn't a valid hypothesis.
Why is it not valid?
Can I have a bash at explaining why it's not valid?
Sure.
Your supposition is that if you vary and manipulate electric field strength, you will cause gas pressure.
Yes.
So you believe that you will be varying electric field strength to cause there to be gas at pressure.
You cut out a little bit in the middle of that there. I didn't catch the start of it.
So you believe that if you vary electrical field strength, you will cause gas to be at pressure.
In the context of the setup I described, yes.
But this is a hypothesis. The setup is irrelevant. You're just trying to establish what you suppose causes an effect. In this instance, the effect is gas pressure, gas at pressure. And you think that the cause of gas at pressure is a variation in field strength.
Well, you won't let me add any modifiers to the hypothesis for some reason.
Well, a hypothesis has these three constituent parts, you see. What you think causes the effect, and the effect, anything else is what you hold constant. So we've got those things. I'm still talking. We've got those things.
Right.
You think the cause is electric field strength, and the effect you think it's causing is gas pressure. I'll take that silence as a recognition of this total nonsense, shall I?
No, I think the effect is ionized gas pressure.
That wasn't your observed phenomena.
So, do we ask in the housekeeping for evidence of ionized gas pressure without a container? Just out of interest.
No, you asked for gas pressure. I said we can.
Yeah. That's what you've said. Yeah, that's why you've given it as your DP. That's why it's your DV. The thing we're asking for. That's right. We're asking for gas pressure. Yeah. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. So why are you now talking about ionized gas pressure?
Well, I did talk about it all the way at the start. I don't know if you want me to repeat. You seem to get quite irritated when I do that.
Because you claimed it was an experiment.
No, I claimed it was a good example of gas pressure without a container.
No, you said it was an experiment.
Right. You asked for gas pressure without a container. I'm presuming you mean that in the sense of how can there be gas pressure at the surface of Earth if there's nothing containing the atmosphere up top? I said gravitational field could cause a gradient of gas pressure.
Gravitational, yeah,
prove
that's
it.
right. That's another problem. You haven't scientifically validated gravity, so it's begging the question.
No, so if you let me finish again. I said gravity could, and I'm assuming that gravity is there. I'm assuming
No,
it, yeah.
no, I'm
I
sorry.
said gravity
That's his
could. good
That's his point.
establish
That's
a
his
pressure
point. It's
gradient
circular
in
reasoning.
the atmosphere.
So just declaring
Then
that
you
you
said
accept that
proof.
it's circular reasoning
So I
isn't a
showed it with
justification
you,
for circular
and then
reasoning.
said you'd have to split it up because you
He
can't.
does. He's just verbal diarrhea. Is not listening.
Yeah, just because
No.
you've accepted that it's verbal diarrhea, it's
No.
circular reasoning.
Can you let me finish a whole sentence
We
without
got to the
jumping
point
in
that
on
you
top
use
of me and
circular
then
reasoning
bitching
and
about me
stopped
jumping
you.
in on top
Yeah,
of you?
no, we won't let you constantly use circular reasoning. At the point that you use it, it'll be pointed
I'm not
out.
using it. Right.
You
Yes,
presuppose
you
I'll
gravity.
start
are.
then. I'll start at the start, and as soon as you see any circular reasoning, then
We
shout at me.
stopped you.
We
already
do.
did it.
We did. We are. You presupposed gravity as a force.
No, I didn't. At what point have I said gravity is a force?
Give us your example again.
Right. You asked, how can we have gas pressure in the atmosphere? And I said, if there was gravity on Earth.
There you go, you stupid man. Are you dense? Don't sigh, you stupid retard. Are you? I'm asking you sincerely. You've just made it clear that you're not going to. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
You're the one that's just in
Shut up! You stupid fundy moron. Shut up! I'm talking to you. I'm berating you for your stupidity now. Shut up. You just declared it as a force. If we have gravity, you stupid fundy moron.
I didn't say it was a force.
If we have gravity,
At what
that
point did
is
I say
a
force?
presupposition.
That's all right. I muted him. Go ahead. Say what you need to say.
It's a presupposition. If we have gravity is a presupposition that we have gravity. Presupposing the force of gravity, then blah, 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 blah. I'm not presupposing it by saying, if we have this force. That's precisely what you're doing, you stupid fundy zealot.
Go ahead.
Oh, cool, I'm unmuted again. Right. Yes, I'm presupposing it, right?
Yeah!
I'm using it
Don't!
to build an argument.
You stupid fuckwit! Do you understand what I've just said to you, you stupid fundamentalist religious zealot? Making a
I'm not
question that
religious.
assumes your outcome is not demonstrating gravity. It's demonstrating that you're a fundamentalist fuckwit.
You're so salty.
If you presuppose gravity again, you get me shouting at you because you're so stupid that after John has explained and I've explained that it's circular reasoning, you say no it isn't. Then you go on to presuppose that if we have gravity, like the fucking bonehead that you are, because you are fundamentally fucking retarded. You don't understand that you're using circular reasoning, even in the face of us pointing it out to you. Even after we get annoyed that you keep doing it. And then you say you're not. Give us an example. And in your first breath, you say, if we have gravity, you are fundamentally retarded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Right,
wow,
can you
you're
stop muting me, man?
retarded.
Jesus
Wow,
Christ.
you've used circular reasoning. Wow, you've begged the question
No.
again.
I've not used circular reasoning. If it was,
Yes,
it would
you
be
have.
circular reasoning if
Yes,
I said, if there was
you
gravity, then...
have! If we have gravity, then blah, 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 therefore proof of gravity is circular reasoning. You've presupposed it. You stupid idiot!
I presupposed it to
No, you
prove
can't
something.
assume. You can't assume what you're trying to prove when you're trying to prove it. So you're
I'm not
assuming.
trying.
Right, the hand
Yes,
is
you
now the
are.
third
Hold on,
person.
No, I'm
The
not.
third person to point this out to you. 3 people have now pointed this out to you. You fundamentalist religious zealot. Just because you've got a fundy belief in this force and must presuppose it.
You asked me to prove gas pressure without a container. So
Yeah,
I
and you
presupposed gravity.
asserted your fundamentalist zealot belief in gravity,
Yeah.
didn't you?
If you
Yeah,
ask me to
the
prove
only thing
gravity,
you've got
I
to
presuppose
demonstrate
gravity.
it is your fundy belief in
If God
gravity.
is real, then the Bible is true. Okay, so therefore the Bible is true because God is real.
Wait a second.
Right, so that, therefore I've just proven God because I said if God exists, then the Bible and the scriptures are real, right? So I've started with
analogy.
the presupposition that if God is real, so that
Poor
would be
analogy.
circular, right?
Nathan,
I can't use.
Nathan, go ahead, take over, man.
So you've used circular reasoning, my friend, in the face of now 3 people explaining it to you. what are you going to do? Again, deny that you've applied your fundamentalist belief in gravity to explain gas pressure without a container?
Evidence of gravity. Simple.
You've not
do we
asked
wanna
for
go to
evidence of
gravity?
gravity. It would be
Wait, hold
circular
on,
reasoning if
this
I
is why
said if gravity, then something's
But
gravity.
you are, dude. You are, because this is what
No,
you're
I'm
doing.
not.
You yes, hon. Let me try and explain it. So you have electromagnetism, right, which is an actual force containing ionized gas. That is what you actually have. Then this is where that's the reality. Okay. Now you're going to leave that. You're leaving reality to go to presuppose that gravity could act just like the magnetism that you saw, and our atmosphere can act just like the ionized gas you saw. Therefore, Earth can be that.
Force can cause pressure. Simple.
What in the
Gravity isn't a force. George Musser, 2019. Congratulations. You just stabbed gravity.
Causes the force. Gravity causes the
No,
force.
no, it's okay. Zach, mute him because he's obfuscating the point because this guy just got crushed.
No.
So
It's still,
can we
you
move?
have
No.
pressure.
Who's the other guy?
You have pressure. If
Who
you
is
have a
it?
force, you can have pressure.
Azurith. Can you respond to what I said to you? Do you see how you can't go from making ionized gas pressure with magnetism and that being in reality to then making gravity make air pressure with no?
I would have responded quicker if someone didn't keep muting me.
That was my bad. I was trying to mute the person
I
interrupting you.
understand
Sorry. I thought you were the guy interrupting you. So that's my bad.
No.
Sorry.
Right. So I understand that you can't use gravity to prove gravity. That's circular reasoning. I also can't use gas pressure to prove gas pressure. Also circular reasoning. That's not what I'm doing.
You can't use magnetism to prove gravity.
I'm not using I've never even mentioned magnetism.
Yes, you said electromagnetism can create air pressure of an ionized gas.
I said
you're
an
using
electric
electromagnetism
field. That's
to
an
prove
electric
gravity. You're using an electric field to.
No, I'm not.
Gravity, pressure.
I'm saying you could use an
So
electric
then why are you
field
bringing
to
it up?
pressure.
Why are you, if you're proving gravity, why are you bringing up electromagnetism?
I'm not trying to prove gravity. I was saying
You're trying to prove gravity can make air pressure. Yes.
No.
So why are you proving that gravity can make air pressure by showing the electromagnetism making
it's
air
a
pressure?
force.
How do we know it's not electromagnetism making the air?
It causes a force. That's why.
Okay, no, I'm not talking.
Yeah,
Again,
go ahead. I knew who
I
it
wasn't
was.
trying to
Knucklehead
prove-
Zanuck.
All right, I wasn't trying to prove gravity. I was trying to prove that a field in general could cause air pressure.
No. That's inconsistent. You're moving the goalposts because the goalposts are that the field goal you need to kick is gravity making air pressure with no container through the uprights, right? If you don't use gravity and you use electromagnetism, wide left. If you don't use if you use a container, wide right. So in order to get this field goal to go through, you need gravity making the air pressure and nothing else.
Right.
So don't talk about electromagnetism. Don't talk about an ionized gas. Talk about the gravity and atmosphere.
Right, okay. So you want me to prove that gravity can cause air pressure. I'm breaking that up into different proofs. Because to prove the air pressure part, I would have to start with the supposition of gravity. So I have to prove gravity first. So I need to prove gravity exists and then prove it's a field. And then prove that fields can cause gas
you
pressure.
told us to interrupt you every time you beg the question.
Yeah, you just begged the question again.
How?
Because you invoke gravity!
I would have to
every
prove
time he gets his ass
gravity
handed to him, he sighs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you even stated it overtly. You said, I start with the supposition of gravity.
No, that's not what I said. I said if I wanted to prove air pressure in a gravitational field, I have to already assume gravity exists.
Yeah!
So I have to prove gravity first.
Yeah, you stupid dick. Why is it this now the 7th time? Yeah, so in order to do this, you must presuppose gravity exists.
No, I have to prove it exists first, and then I can use it. That's what I said.
Go. Let's see that then. Prove gravity
Wait
exists.
a second. Hold on a second. Let me erase these. Nathan, you still got the screen up?
Yeah, let's get the screen up again.
Hold on 1 second. Let me do some erasing of your train wreck first.
This is going to be a
scientific
wonderful
method.
fail.
But you said you had to first prove gravity exists. Now we're holding you to that.
Right,
Natural phenomena
so
observed,
someone want to
please.
send me the link so I can see the screen he's talking about.
It's just a series of just writing down. All it is just writing down what you say in answer to these questions. What is your observed phenomena?
Things fall down. I believe you would agree that in the reference frame of
down.
the surface of the Earth, objects that are
Yeah.
unsupported fall down.
Okay, thank you. Things fall down, go boom boom.
Things go down, right? Things go
fall down,
down.
go
No,
boom.
let's
Well,
not have the
that's
go boom boom. We've just made that
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Well, things fall
Right, so
down.
that's the observed phenomena. Stuff falls down on Earth. Yeah.
What about helium balloons?
Okay. No, wait, hold on a second, Nathan. No, not yet. Don't jump on them just yet. That's the dependent variable. Things fall down. What is the cause of that, or your independent variable?
Right, that's where the theory comes in. So by Einstein,
you
we
don't
can
have
see
a
that
theory.
the
No. Hold on. Theories come after the application of the scientific method. So if we're proving things,
Right,
and in
yeah.
this case, there he goes again. What is his problem?
I thought
Is
you
it
were
my
done.
voice
Sorry.
that makes you think that you need to talk? Is it something about the sound of my voice? Over. Yeah. So if you're going to prove cause, we don't go to the theory because that comes later.
Right.
Yeah. With the presence of valid experimentation based on a hypothesis. So we're not at theory. We don't appeal to theories. They come later. It's like the other guy. Let's do your trick. When he was going to experiment, when we were trying to observe phenomena. So no. When we ask you for your independent variable, we don't go to the theory. We just know what you will vary and manipulate to cause the effect. Now, we all know that you're going to claim it's gravity that causes things to go down. Correct?
No, that's not what I was going to say.
No, what's your independent variable, my friend, for things go down?
The curvature of space-time due to mass.
Excellent. Curvature of space-time due to mass causes things go down.
Yep,
Go
that
boom,
would be my initial hypothesis.
Excellent.
No, not down, go boom boom.
Just down.
Copy. The
Wait, do you wanna-
curvature of space time. I'm writing the hypothesis.
Oh, okay.
So relax. The curvature of space-time causes things to fall down, go boom boom. Okay, so the curvature of space-time is your independent variable. How are you going to manipulate the curvature of space-time?
Again, it's the curvature of space-time due to mass. So mass is my independent variable, actually.
Unbelievable. Is it the curvature of space-time or is it mass?
No, it's the curvature of space-time due to mass.
No, sorry. You need to pick one.
You know what independent means?
Right. So mass causes the curvature, and the curvature causes the force, and the force causes the thing to fall down.
That's begging the question times about 18. The curvature of
No,
space-time causes
That's
things to
what
fall
the
down.
hypothesis is.
No, it's not. You said the curvature of space-time. We don't need the cause for the curvature of space-time. You said the curvature of space-time. The cause of the curvature of space-time is another entirely different animal.
So we're not establishing the reason for things going down with this curvature of space-time then. We need to search for a new cause for the cause of this effect. So the cause, curvature of space-time, is both the cause of things going down and an effect of something else. Wow, it's amazing. It's both cause and effect. It's curvature of space-time. Just out of interest, is the curvature of space-time something physical or is it a conceptual medium?
Space-time. No, it does exist. You're living in it.
It's not a conceptual medium then. It's not based on pseudo Riemannian force space. That's not my understanding's wrong.
Well, you can't perceive it, but it exists because we're in it.
So what you're saying is the curvature space-time is something that's physical and real.
Yeah, because you can curve it.
No
you can
worries.
bend.
Can you show me the curvature of space-time, please?
I mean, you can go and look at some lensing or gravitational attraction with any masses.
Gravitational? What the hell? Sorry, hold on. There you go again, begging the question, my friend. You see this, what we're going through now is you proving gravitation. Things fall down, remember? No, we're not going to beg the question and just... Excuse me, there he goes again while I'm in the middle of a statement. Yeah, I understand. I embarrass you guys and you need to talk through the very, very damning points that I make. Yes. So, no, we're not going to appeal to gravity when you're trying to prove it with this proof, which is bollocks. Because we've got a conceptual medium, my friend. Conceptual. Pseudo-Ramonian force space. Maybe you want to look that up. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I do, and you could even go further and call it the pseudo whatever. 12
What pseudo?
space.
What? Sorry, what does you do know what it
There's
is?
well more than four
Excellent.
dimensions.
Yeah, I just needed a yes. What does the pseudo bit mean? What does the pseudo?
You don't have to be an arsehole. I
Of
just didn't
course,
hear you
it's
speak
me
Kylan.
slowing down. I didn't say over. Thick fuck. Yeah. Yes, you
Right,
sigh.
well, this has
yeah,
been
it's
nice.
okay. I get it.
Alright.
I get it. You need really, really desperately to obfuscate this point, don't you, my friend? Over.
Right, now that I'm not muted, cheers. I'll catch you later. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's been an obliteration, my friend. You've been absolutely pummeled.
That's what you think.
No, I
That's
know.
what you've been-
Absolutely implicitly, you have had your ass handed to you.
Yeah, just watch the show later. It'll be in black, white, blue, and a shade of pink. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, so I might have to walk back everything I said yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you were claiming that they might be in a position of transition rather than fundamentally zealot, right?
Yeah, well, I'm speaking as you guys are having your conversation. I'm back to a conversation I was having with one of my Globe Earth friends. And even though we're not arguing, I can see how they jump from one point to another, even though they can see clearly what's going on. So they'll try to go into their mind to explain it. And then I'll have to say, well, what you're explaining now disproves what you just tried to explain 5 minutes ago. It's not working all together. There's contradictions. That's the problem.
Right, we experience it all the time. Could we summarize this real quick, Nathan? Do you have this back up on screen? Hello?
Yep, you're on screen. You're all presented. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a short summary. His natural phenomena observed was things fall down, go boom boom. The independent variable is the curvature of space-time. Of course, things fall down is his dependent variable. This is a concept. You cannot vary and manipulate it. Therefore, it is not a viable independent variable. This is pseudoscience. Thank you.
And with that, I'll say, well, I won't say if you're watching this because this is the end of the show. So a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you who are watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. If you want to keep up to date with the community debate, go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the Discord and Google Plus Hangouts on Air panels for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!